If you dread the question, seeing anyone yet? Every time you meet up with friends or family, this is the video for you. Hi, I'm Rebecca Hawkes, here to help you live your confident 30s. Keep watching and I'll reveal the simple yet effective tool that you can use anytime thoughts of "it's too late for me" enter your mind, so that you can stop panicking about never meeting the one and start embracing this current chapter of your life. I don't know about you, but there have been plenty of times when I've been asked if I've got a boyfriend yet, normally by older relatives that I don't see that often, and that question used to trigger a response in me that left me feeling ashamed or embarrassed about being single in my 30s. When I started to unpack why I felt that way, I realised that it wasn't actually anything to do with what I believed about myself. It was the expectations and pressure from society that has been passed down through the generations. For centuries, British society has expected women to marry young, largely because marriage gave them financial security and respect within society. Until the 1970s, it was difficult for women in the UK to access independent financial resources. In fact, it wasn't until the Sex Discrimination Act of 1975 that women were given the right to open their own bank accounts without a husband or male relative's permission. Can you believe that that was only 50 years ago? Aside from financial dependence, a woman's worth was often socially tied to her marital status. Women who didn't marry were frequently viewed as failures, and this stigma can still be seen today and can be why so many single women feel shame around being single. At the start of the year, I shared a reel on social media about how I thought I'd be married by the time that I was 30. Yet here I am at 33, having just ended things with the first person that I had dated after 4 years of being single. And you only have to glance at the comments to see the hatred and shame placed upon a woman for being single in her 30s. It's 2024, and to many people, being married is still more important than actually being happy. It's almost like being a wife is the most valuable thing that you can be, and it's not important that us as women have so many more choices available to us now. We no longer need men to do the things that we desire. We can have our own careers that not only create financial stability for us, but can also bring us joy, a sense of success and fulfillment. We can earn our own money, buy our own houses, take ourselves on holiday, date ourselves regularly, have sex with ourselves, and even have a baby without needing to be in a relationship with a man. A few months ago, I was discussing this exact topic with someone who I met, a woman in her 40s, and we were talking about the spinster label that women have been given whilst single men get to be bachelors. It's a bit like when a man sleeps around and he's a stud, but a woman sleeping around for her own sexual satisfaction is a slut or a whore. The term spinster originally referred to women who spun yarn or thread to earn a living, which was how unmarried women could support themselves financially. Over time, spinster became a negative label, describing women seen as past the acceptable age for marriage, and therefore it made them undesirable or lonely, because of course a woman on her own is automatically lonely. Even though women in the UK today have more independence than ever, the focus can still be on these old timelines, making single women feel behind or like it's too late. Recognizing that these pressures are rooted in outdated beliefs can remove that stigma. In reality, delaying or choosing not to marry can mean having the freedom to pursue your passions, establish financial independence, and define happiness on your own terms, rather than ending up in a miserable life because that's what society expects of you. Family and friends can also add to the pressure and to the shame that comes with being single, however unintentionally. By prioritising questions about your relationship status over what else you've been up to in your life, it can feel like those closest to you only view you as enough when you're coupled up. In most cases, that's probably not their intention at all. And I've learned that the friends that ask me if I'm dating or if I've met anyone significant yet are coming from curiosity, and because it makes for a great story, like, let's be honest, dating stories are the best stories. And it's not about them believing that I need to be in a relationship with someone just to be valued. And lastly, one of the other things that can add to us feeling ashamed is the happily ever after narrative that we see on TV or in films that implies happiness is tied to a partnership. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely want my happily ever after, and I know that one day I will have my fairy tale romance, but I'm not in a rush for it, and I don't buy into the belief that I need someone in order to complete me. One of the best things that you can do for yourself to remove the pressure or rewrite the narrative that you need to have met the one by now is to look for evidence around all the people you have met, fell in love, got married and had babies later in their life. The easiest way to do this is to look at celebrities like Eva Mendes meeting Ryan Gosling at 37, Barbara Streisand meeting James Brolin aged 54, Penelope Cruz getting married at 36, Paris Hilton getting engaged at 40, Kourtney Kardashian getting married at 43 and having a baby at 44, Amal Clooney having twins at 39, Sienna Miller having a second child at 42, Victoria Coren Mitchell having a second child at 51. And on top of all the celeb evidence, you can listen to stories from friends who had a friend that found their person aged 39, or someone else who welcomed their first child aged 40. There is so much evidence around that people are meeting and marrying later on in life that instead of plugging into this fear-based narrative that's been created by the media for decades, you can choose to tune into the evidence that what you desire is possible for you. Now here is where you get to take control of your story and change the narrative that has plagued women for generations. You get to choose to shift your perspective from seeing being single in your 30s as lack to seeing it as freedom, a blessing and an opportunity to rediscover yourself on the deepest level. And just because you choose to enjoy being single doesn't mean you're rejecting future relationships. Two things can exist at the same time. You get to embrace your single life, enjoy dating yourself, fall in love with spending time alone, and to be actively seeking your own nobody wants this relationship. There's power in embracing your single chapter. It's a decision, it's a choice. It's empowering to say, you know what, I'm gonna make the most out of every moment of my singleness, knowing that I'll meet the person I deserve when I'm supposed to. If you knew for absolute certainty that your person was out there, that you were going to live your happily ever after, and that once you met them, you would never be single again, why would you not embrace this last chance at being alone? Why would you not use it to do all the solo things you've always wanted to do? Why would you not make the most out of this limited chapter of your life? And if you never want to date or be in a relationship again, that's absolutely okay too. You're allowed to live your life however you want. Society, your friends, your family, their beliefs of what you should or shouldn't be doing with your life, i.e. married or in a long-term relationship, they're not important. You cannot live your life to please them. Now it's time to talk about why you being single in your 30s is a blessing, not a curse. Come join me as we have that conversation now by clicking the video that's appearing on your screen.